Now, you got the self-employed quadrant. These are people or small business owners. These are like brokers or contractors, real estate agents, some lawyers. You got barbers, small restaurant owners. These are people who are work for themselves. So they can go to work when they want to work. The problem, and you can make a lot of money in this quadrant. You can own a Benz, you can own a mansion. I know people in this quadrant who make a few $100,000 a year. The problem is that they have to be working to get paid. I mean, if they don't work, they're not getting paid. If a barber's not working, he's not getting paid. If a realtor's not selling a home, he's not getting paid. And so you have the money, but you don't have the lifestyle. You don't have the time. So these people spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week working, and they have a hard time maintaining a solid family life, raising kids, having a husband or a wife with a healthy relationship. And so that's the self-employed or small business quadrant. These people, again, they only make money when they're working. And so they may work 60, 70 hours a week. Now the B quadrant, these are business owners. These are people who have over 500 people helping them with their income, whether they're employees or team members or what have you. And then here you got Bill Gates, you got the Bob Johnsons of the world, you've got Magic Johnson, there's Peter Gilbert. That's supposed to say Magic. I can't spell. You've got, there's Oprah. There's lots of business owners that we all know of. Now, these people have time and they have money. So that means they don't have to show up to work. Why? Because they have a system. They have hundreds of people that are helping them with their income. And they have the financial freedom. These people obviously make a whole lot of money. And that's where everybody wants to be. And then the I quadrant is the investor quadrant. This is where basically people get the majority of their cash from their return on their investments. Most of these people are people who made the transition from here to here. Okay? Now this is where people want to be. This is where most people are. The problem is that if you go to a financial advisor, that person is going to tell you to make the transition from here to here. They're going to tell you to save 10, 20% of your income, put it in your 401k or invest it in a Roth or in a mutual fund or what have you. The problem there is that one, most people have a hard enough time living off of 100% of their income for them to try to live off of 80 or 90%. And then two, there's no guarantee that those investments are going to mature. You may invest in something in the stock market, it may crash. So that's not guaranteed. And nobody wants to live like a hermit for 30 years. And then when they're 80 years old, they're rich and they can't even walk on the beaches that they now can afford to vacation on. So this is where everybody wants to be. And Robert Kiyosaki suggests that you make this transition, but the problem is that most people fail. And they fail over here not because of lack of desire. They fail because of a lack of preparation. Our training, all our lives in this country, is to be in this quadrant. When you're in high school, when you're in college, your parents, they all teach you how to get a job. Nobody teaches you how to start your own business in school. And so the reason people fail over here is because they're not prepared. They don't have the training. They have the desire to be financially independent. They don't have the training. And it's just like if you were to study scuba diving, and you go to scuba diving class for 6 months religiously, and then once your 6 months is up and you got your license, you go try to climb Mount Everest. You're going to die. You're going to die because your training is in diving. It's not in mountain climbing. And that's what people do. They get trained over here, and then they come over here and they want to start a business and they fall flat on their face. And the reason is because there's nowhere for you to get trained over here. Most of these people fail. They fail their way to success. They try something else and fail. And most people can't afford to do that. They got kids, they got a mortgage. They can't afford to just be failing and practicing. And so Robert Kiyosaki, well, there's two different places that you can get training over here. The average person, if you want to start a barbershop and you went to a barber shop owner and you asked him to help you, he's not going to help you. Why? Because one, he doesn't get paid to help you. Two, he may train you and then you may open up a barbershop next door and run him out of business. And so the only places you're going to get trained in this industry or in this quadrant is one, in a franchise. A franchise obviously costs a lot of money, but they will train you. Why? Because their name is on the line. They obviously, if you open up a McDonald's, they want to make sure you don't mess up their name, so they're going to make sure you get trained properly. Now, the other place that you're going to get, but most people can't open up a franchise because obviously it costs a lot of money, $1 million, $2 million, some depending on the franchise. The other place you're going to find training is in a home-based business. And most home-based business, Robert Kiyosaki suggests a home-based business because one, it doesn't cost a whole lot to get started. Most home-based businesses you can get involved in for just a few $100s. Two, there's really no overhead. I mean, you're not going to spend thousands of dollars a month in overhead and a lease and accounts payable and employees. You don't have to do all that. and there's a small overhead. And then there's really no risk involved. If you start a franchise or if you start a barbershop, you're probably going to have to quit your job. You can't work in your job and do a traditional business or a franchise. And so if it doesn't work, then you lose everything. You file in bankruptcy, you're just out of luck. But in a home-based business, you start out part-time. You still have your job's taking care of all your bills or whatnot, and your business, you grow on your own time, 8, 10, 12 hours a week, but there's really no risk there. But you still get all the benefits of being in this quadrant, the tax benefits, the freedom, and eventually your income may replace what you make on your full-time job. But that is the transition from the E quadrant to the B quadrant. And again, most people are here. This is where your training is. If you're going to make it over here, you have to be trained. And that's where people like myself, I've been in this industry for 6 years, that's what I do. I help people understand the concepts and the thought processes that it takes to make it over here in this quadrant. A lot of people don't even want to leave this quadrant. They're comfortable over here. This is what they've always known. Everybody they know is living check to check, so they feel like, okay, well, what's the problem living check to check? And this is what everybody else is doing, and they have a nice car, a nice home, but it's all on credit. And most Americans are just kind of disillusioned to their financial situation, and they don't have wealth. They have credit, and they're on this job that basically, obviously, it's just a hamster wheel. I'll get back to that in a second.